The young waitress repeatedly apologized, admitting she was terribly clumsy and deeply sorry for spilling coffee. Her supervisor told her not to worry, but another woman sharply warned her to be more careful. The waitress apologized again, insisting it had only been coffee. When the supervisor threatened to dock her entire day's pay if she made another mistake, the waitress simply responded, "Yes, ma'am," and hurried to take new orders. A moment later, she politely approached a table and asked the guests for their order. One woman requested scrambled eggs, a mango juice, hot coffee with 2 sugars, and a fresh salad. Another customer asked for a waffle, freshly brewed coffee, and watermelon juice with a bit of sugar. The last man wanted hot coffee, a slice of cheese, and perfectly hard-boiled eggs. When one customer asked why the waitress wasn't writing anything down, she explained that she remembered everything. She then flawlessly repeated each order. The man admitted that he hadn't asked for strong coffee, but she confidently assured him he would enjoy it. She then excused herself to take the order to the kitchen. At that moment, the supervisor interrogated the waitress about who had given her permission to take a week off. The waitress explained that she had arranged 2 full weekends off with Don Julio, the same man who now reminded her that he was Don Julio. The customers noted that the waitress was exceptionally smart, but the supervisor dismissed the comment, claiming a waitress couldn't be that capable. Don Julio warned her not to underestimate people and insisted the young woman might even help them solve a problem they were facing. The supervisor disagreed. Later, the supervisor told the waitress she would be required to work weekends or lose her job. The waitress pleaded, explaining that she had university exams, but the supervisor dismissed her concerns entirely. When the waitress asked if she would at least be paid extra, the supervisor ignored her and moved on to other matters. At the same moment, a distressed pregnant woman approached the waitress asking for help, explaining that officers wanted to take her to jail. A police officer then ordered that the woman be arrested. When asked what she had done, a lawyer accused her of stealing money and personal belongings from a client's home. The woman insisted she was innocent and had only worked there as a cleaner. The waitress stepped in, questioning whether the officer had an arrest warrant, reminding him that pregnant women had special legal protection and could not be detained without one unless caught in the act. The officer mocked her for being a waitress, but she informed him that she was a law student and knew the law well. When she asked for evidence, the lawyer claimed they had camera footage. Another man suddenly arrived, announcing that he was the pregnant woman's lawyer. He accused the officer and his superior of attempting an illegal arrest motivated by a complaint filed against the police captain. He declared that nobody, including politicians, was above the law. He warned that he would file a formal complaint for attempted illegal detention and excessive force. The officer backed down, allowing the woman to leave. She tearfully thanked the waitress for defending her. The lawyer then asked the waitress if she would be interested in helping with the case. She hesitated, but he encouraged her, telling her that her abilities were clearly being wasted. As she prepared to return to work, her supervisor coldly confronted her, claiming problems occurred wherever she stood. When the waitress reminded her why Don Julio had originally hired her, the supervisor became enraged. After another threat, the waitress finally declared she was tired of being humiliated and resigned. Later, she approached the lawyer and asked whether the job offer was still available. He invited her to sit, explaining they needed to find a way for the politician involved to legally recognize his unborn child without exposing the mother to danger. The waitress suggested filing a paternity suit for a child born out of wedlock under Article 323, Section 4, Subsection B of the Civil Code, along with a court-supervised DNA test. She also noted that refusal to take such a test resulted in presumed paternity. The lawyer was impressed by how clearly she understood the law. They agreed she would help defend the pregnant woman. Because the politician had already located the pregnant woman, the lawyer invited her to stay at his home for safety. She thanked him, admitting she had believed the captain when he claimed he would leave his wife for her. He reassured her that she had simply fallen in love with the wrong man and that he would not judge her. When she worried about having nothing to wear for her first day of work, he told her that knowledge was more important than clothing. Meanwhile, the police captain's subordinates reported that they had been unable to detain the woman because the waitress law student and Andrea's lawyer had intervened. The captain was furious, insisting that the situation could ruin his career. One subordinate suggested offering the woman money to leave the city as an out-of-court settlement. The captain agreed. The next day, the lawyer brought clothes to the waitress as an advance payment for her new job. She was embarrassed, but he assured her she deserved it. Later, the captain unexpectedly arrived at the house, insisting on speaking with Andrea. He offered her $50,000 in exchange for dropping the lawsuit and disappearing from his life. She refused, saying her son's dignity was not for sale. He threatened to sue her and leave her with nothing. The captain's lawyer urged her to accept. Andrea and the waitress then pretended to agree, stating they would finalize the deal at the Jimenez legal consulting office the next day. When everyone met at the office, the waitress presented a video recording of the captain offering the bribe. She questioned how he justified attempting to buy silence following an illegal arrest. Although his lawyer argued that the recording could not be used as legal evidence, she explained that it could be used to request state protection and file complaints for coercion, persecution, attempted bribery, abuse of authority, and malfeasance. She warned that if he refused to sign the agreement acknowledging the child, they would release the recording and file the complaint. With witnesses, a human rights lawyer, and full documentation, they were prepared. The captain reluctantly signed. The lawyer praised her work, though she reminded him she was not a full attorney yet. Andrea expressed gratitude, saying she finally felt protected, heard, and respected. The waitress told her that sometimes people needed to lose everything to start over. Soon after, her former supervisor appeared and received a formal notice requiring her to answer for unpaid overtime and workplace mistreatment. She admitted that her behavior had cost her everything and hoped the business would recover. The waitress told her she only wanted to prevent others from suffering as she had. Subscribe for more inspiring recaps. Don't forget to like, share, and hit the bell icon.